Hey guys, it's Eric, owner of Farpoint Farms here in the beautiful mountains, North Carolina, and tonight it's time to take a look at this. This is part 2 of the President Taylor FCC 40 channel AM CB radio. This is a really cool radio that will soon be installed on one of my cars, so I like this. I was hoping actually that I was going to take the President Bill back out of my little Rabbit truck and put this in there, but it turns out it's just a smidge too big, which is a real shame because I really dig it. But I've got another car I'm going to install this in. So anyway, the President Taylor. Let's check this thing out. Volume control right here. That's going to turn our volume or our radio on and off and also control the volume. Automatic squelch control. Let me just point out this. I think I've mentioned it in other videos on other President radios that I've reviewed. This is the best automatic squelch control that I have seen. You know, Cobra has the sound tracker. I can't remember what Uniden calls theirs, but there's like a bunch of different versions that have come out over the years, and you know, they all kind of work, sort of work, don't work. Well, let me turn that down. Skip is definitely rolling. That's awesome. We'll check that out in a second. But what we've got is, let me go ahead and shift back. So what we've got is that automatic squelch control just works better. And as you can see, you get a loud enough signal, it just overrides it. If you don't like that, you can still have your, I'll turn the volume up ever so slightly. We have our controls here to manually adjust squelch, so that's there as well. Now I'll turn the volume back down. I'm going to turn that squelch control back on. Here, I like this about the Taylor as well. Not that I don't like a digital meter, but for some reason, the classic look of the Taylor here with that brushed aluminum faceplate just kind of does it for me, and what really rounds it out is that nice analog meter there. We've got our channel up and down here, but we also have the ability to use channel up and down on the mic. This is a 6-pin mic, so we do have channel up down there. So that works really nice. Other features, yes, there's tons of them. CB, CB, TB, and PA. What do we have there? What does that mean? All the way up, it's going to act as a normal CB radio. All the way down, well, if you want to use it, you could set this thing up in a building with a power supply and use it to make addresses over a PA speaker to, you know, say a warehouse or whatnot. And then we have this middle one, and I was not sure when I first picked this thing up what TB stood for, but it is for Talkback. So yeah, this thing has built-in Talkback, which I find to be a really cool feature that not many radios this size come with. Now this radio is a little smaller than say a Cobra 25. It's narrower, and it's kind of a unique size, to be honest with you, but it's definitely a lot smaller than it looks possibly on you know, in this review, but it's very small. I'd say maybe 1 3/4 inches tall and 6 inches is in width here. So just to give you an idea there. So over here we have off and noise blanker / automatic noise limiter, and then all the way up on top high cut / noise blank since A&L. So it does offer those features for older vehicles that have, you know, fuel pump whine, ignition noise, stuff like that. Here, and I've already programmed this one, I'll just show you this though, we have our emergency 1, emergency 2, and off. And so if you look at radios from the 90s, 80s, 70s, even the early 2000s, mid 2000s, well, not mid 2000s, I guess we're still in the early 2000s, but maybe the 00s. So we have, usually you have 9 and 19, and on this model, instead of that, they've got programmable, and I really like this. So I've got my 19s, because I still use this obviously for highway use, but instead of going to 9, I've programmed in our local channel here, which is 14. So I have that programmed in, so I can just flip this switch when I need to get to a channel automatically. I don't have to take my eyes off the road. That I really like, and I find that to be a really useful feature, so that's kind of cool. This thing does have weather alert. I can switch to that.
Southwest Virginia. For this afternoon and tonight, a cold front moves across the region this afternoon into the evening.
So that's a cool feature. And again, you think about the size that radios used to have to be to pack all these features in like that. That's pretty awesome. Vox, so you could have voice on, you know, you transmit on voice. I wouldn't recommend that in the vehicles that I own because they're pretty noisy vehicles. But on a newer car that's nice and quiet, that's a great feature to have. And then let's get into some of this other stuff, because as you can see, we have what initially looks like a regular, you know, LED channel counter. But if we look closer, we have a full frequency counter here. We have beep, we have ASC, we have our AM lit up. So there's a lot of other stuff going on here. And this is actually just a full-fledged display screen that tells us all kinds of stuff. So to change some of these functions, I'll go ahead and press and hold. Oh, and that turns on your Vox. I'll go ahead and turn that back off. There we go. But if I just press it once, I can change my emergency channel now. Press it again and it locks it back in. I can change my second emergency number. I can move my Vox level up or down. So how loud does it want me to be speaking before it keys down? The PA setting, so you can change the level of the modulation from the radio over a speaker. So if the speaker is, if you're talking over a PA speaker and it sounds muffled or whatnot, that's what that controls. That's a feature I don't think I've ever seen on any other CB that I've come across. So that leads me to believe that they really put a little bit of effort into the idea that somebody might want to buy one of these things specifically for the PA function. So that's pretty cool. That's like an unusual feature for sure. We roll through here again. This also has the ability to hook to two different types of microphones. We have our regular mic, and then we also have, what is it? We have the electronic style, or we also have the what's the name of it? The just regular phonographic dynamic mic. So we have two different styles of mics, which is really cool. And then we go on here. We have reset all. So if you somehow manage to get yourself in a bind, you can always switch back through that. And then color, which is really nice. I can change the color and dim, right? So I have my color here. Let's go ahead and change it. And I like the green on this one for some reason. I just feel like it's really good contrast. But blue is cool. Look at all these. I love that. Purple. I actually have a car stereo that the purple looks the best, so I'll leave it on there. I'm going to go with green. I just like that. I think that fits it best. And then we have dim and bright, so I can change the function on that. If I wanted to use it in a low light situation, I could certainly do that. For right now, I'll just leave that all the way up. And then key beep. I'm going to turn the key beep off. Some people might want to keep that on. And then we have Roger beep, my favorite of all time. Yes, definitely want my Roger beep on. I know people love to give me hate on the old Roger beep, but radio is not radio unless it's got Roger beep. I mean, they wouldn't put Roger beep on those trips to the moon unless it was important. So I file it's important. SWR meter built in. Isn't that awesome? So I could let's see, I think it's just key it down. No, let's see here. I'll have to look that one up. Hold on a second. Oh, I think that's right. You actually hit that. There you go. So the old Antron is showing some not so happiness there. That's we'll go ahead and stop that. So that's very unhealthy. The Antron is not well, especially after it rains. It's certainly got a crack in it now, so I won't be keying down too much, but that's also cool. And then we go back to our emergency. So that pretty well rounds out our functions. So let me go ahead and we'll just let that reset back, and let's do some talking. Let's listen to this thing real quick here. I'm going to turn my squelch off, get the volume up, and hopefully Skip's still rolling. So local chatter for sure. One thing I will also point out here, let me go back to the static automatic squelch control, turn the volume up, and you can hear him talking. He's pretty close. If you hit and hold the buttons down for changing channels, let me go to 15 here and I'll go with it, and hold that down, we should go into scan mode here if I'm not correct. There we go. As you can see, it is now scanning through the channels until it finds a signal.
Another try.
After a second or two, it will continue its scan. And there it goes. So again, like all modern CBs should have that feature to give the Taylor this kind of classic look, but still include all the cool modern features that people really want to get out of these radios. That's a real bonus to me. So anyway, I guess that's going to wrap up part 2. This is going to get installed in a vehicle. If I have to modify it to fit in the Rabbit truck, I might. If not, I'm going to be putting it into the Outlander that we have, or I don't know what I'm going to do, but it's going in one because, you know, playing with it here on the bench, talking with it here locally, I've gotten some great sound reports, and I feel like it needs the love. It needs to be loved. So this is going in one of the cars. So part 3, we'll maybe do a range test with it if I get it set up. I've got a Tram 300 antenna I'm hoping to mate it to, so we'll give it a shot and see how that rolls with it. But until next time, I guess that's it. I'm Eric, the owner of Farpoint Farms, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, perhaps you'll think about liking and subscribing, and I'll see you next time. Take care.
There's always something that needs a little fixing on Farpoint Farms. Freedom is mighty sweet.